Previous session, we have discussed Snowflake introduction, and we understand Snowflake is a cloud-based data warehousing platform. Backend, it supports three clouds. While creating account, you can choose whatever the cloud you want. Okay, and if I choose AWS, storage purpose, it uses S3 service. Processing purpose, it uses EC2 service. If I choose Azure, storage purpose, it uses Azure Blob. Processing purpose, it uses service called Azure VM. If I choose GCP as my Snowflake backend cloud, storage purpose, it uses Google Cloud Storage. And processing purpose, it uses Google Cloud Engine Service. Okay. As a Snowflake developer, we work in this way. So we can connect to different data sources. We can ingest data using different approaches of Snowflake, and we load the data into raw layer, and we apply ETL operations on this data, and we load again into transformer layer. And this data become input to data consumers like data analysts, machine learning developers, and artificial intelligence. So we discussed these concepts in previous class. Today we are going to start Snowflake architecture. Okay, so yours is first class, right? But no issues. Yesterday we discussed only introduction of Snowflake. Today we are going to discuss architecture of Snowflake. So you cannot face any difficulty while discussing this architecture. We are going to discuss clearly. Okay. So no worries. If you get any doubt, you can unmute and you can ask me. Jay. Yeah. Okay. Let me start today's class. Yeah. Let's start. In this session, we are going to discuss Snowflake architecture. Snowflake follows three-layered architecture. It follows three-layered architecture. First layer is data storage layer, database layer or storage layer. Second layer is query processing layer. And third important layer is cloud services layer. Let's say while creating Snowflake account, we can choose a backend cloud. While creating Snowflake account, we can choose cloud. Let's say it's supporting three cloud city. First one AWS, and next it's supporting Azure. It's supporting Azure, and it's supporting GCP. Supporting GCP. So Snowflake currently is supporting three cloud city. If you use this AWS, and here storage purpose, it uses S3, and processing purpose, it uses service called EC2. And next one, if you use Azure, storage purpose, it uses service called Blob, Azure Blob service. And processing purpose, it uses service called VM, Azure VM service. If you use GCP, Storage purpose, it uses service called Google Cloud Storage. Google Cloud Storage. Processing purpose, it uses Google Cloud Engine. Okay. So while creating Snowflake account, we can choose backend cloud. We can choose either AWS, we can choose Azure, we can choose GCP. Now here, understanding Snowflake architecture. We are discussing architecture. In this first important point, Snowflake follows three-layered architecture. Layer 1, layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3. So it follows three-layered architecture. So first, database storage. Let's say you are creating database, create database DB, and we can create schema. We can create a table. Let's say table, we need a folder. Yes or no? Then in this database layer, let's say if you are using AWS, I said S3. So this one is S3. If you use Azure, this one is what? Blob. If you use GCP, the storage layer is what? Google Cloud Storage, GCS. GCS. In this location, it creates a table. If you insert the data into a table, where the data going to store? In this location. If you write a select query with filter conditions, select with filter conditions. Let's say I want department is something and salary is something. Like that, we return some conditions. If we write a select query processing engine, the select query going to process to query engine. Here, if it is AWS EC2 mission, if it is Azure Azure VM service, if it is GCP, Google Cloud Engine. So here, query processing purpose, it uses these services too. Then your request is passed to corresponding mission. This mission is responsible to process the data which is presented in database layer. And very important layer is metadata layer. This one is metadata layer. Metadata layer. Third important layer is metadata layer. So this one contains infrastructure manager, optimizers, metadata manager, security related, authentication, and access control. So we can create users, and based on user authentication, user can execute different queries. So it will check that authentication and access of user. And I said here, we are allocating EC2 missions. So this concept we call it as virtual warehouse. So generic terminology is processing. Snowflake terminology is virtual warehouse. So we can create multiple virtual warehouse sizes. Later we are going to discuss what is virtual warehouse and how to create virtual warehouse sizes, different virtual warehouses. Okay. So once you submit any select query, who is going to process that query? Virtual warehouse. And this metadata contains infrastructure details, storage infra, and processing infra, and optimizer. Here you are sending queries. This query can be optimized by this optimizer. And metadata about your tables, column names, database names, everything metadata information we can find in cloud service layer and security. So security related things also we can find in this third layer. So total three layers to database storage layer, query processing layer, and cloud services layer. Okay. Any question here, team? I am giving unmute option to you. You can unmute and speak meeting so that I will clarify your query and I will move next important topic. And one more point I am covering here. We have three demos. Three demos. So yesterday we completed one demo. So one demo is completed. Today we are taking one more demo. And tomorrow also we are going to take a cloud demo. Fourth class onwards, you have to register. So for registration details, you can contact with the DURGASOFT admin team. Any technical related, you can unmute and you can ask me to. So you may coming from different background. So you may started freshly. So some of you may attended yesterday. Some of you may missed yesterday. So today we started directly Snowflake architecture. So we discussed Snowflake architecture. So if you get any query, you can unmute and ask me. If no query, type in chat box. If you have any query, you can unmute, you can ask me. So Jay is saying I am non-native. Okay. Yeah. So first to find putting in this Snowflake, good question, Jay. Yeah. In this Snowflake, how we are going to discuss is first we start with Snowflake fundamentals. We started Snowflake fundamentals, Jay. So this one we are going to discuss what is Snowflake, Snowflake architecture, Snowflake account creation, and simple understanding web user interface. And we are going to discuss complete fundamentals. This part you cannot face any difficulty. Next one, second, fourth one, J. Here we are going to discuss, yeah, as part of this one. First we start with the mastering Snowflake. So we are going to discuss this one, fundamental. Now, fourth part is mastering Snowflake. Here, we are going to discuss advanced concepts and optimization and some other best practices. So simply we can say advanced concepts. Snowflake advanced concepts. So for this one, if you want to get complete hands-on or if you want to get a clear understanding, we need second important topic as well, that is Snowflake, SQL for Snowflake. As part of mastering, so this one is Snowflake fundamentals, and this one is Snowflake advanced concept. So as part of Snowflake, we are going to discuss SQL for Snowflake. SQL for Snowflake. So this one is very, very, very important. Before before going to start this one, this SQL is very, very important. This SQL anyone can easily learn and easily implemented. Easily implemented. So you cannot face any difficulty. I am here, I can ingest SQL, so you can easily learn, easily implement. Next one, We need one cloud knowledge. We are going to learn as part of mastering Snowflake. We are going to learn one cloud called AWS for Snowflake. So Snowflake fundamentals and Snowflake's advanced concepts. So these are four important topics we are going to cover. And fifth one, as part of mastering Snowflake, we are going to discuss real-time projects, real-time scenarios. Okay. So use cases or scenarios or projects. We are going to discuss these all. So for this one, prerequisite is basic computer knowledge. That's it. Basic computer knowledge is more than enough. I am here to ingest these all five topics very in depth. So that's my responsibility. I am here to ingest each and every topic of Snowflake with a clear understanding, with a practical approach. Okay, clear, right, Jay? Any question? Yeah. Next important one, Jay is asking, can we get a job in Snowflake? Let me open one of our job portals. Naukri. Okay, so open Naukri. Here you can search jobs. So I'm searching Snowflake. Okay. I'm searching location is Hyderabad, and you can search Snowflake jobs. So at this point of time, you can see these many jobs in Hyderabad location. You can see the expectation of their job total. So you can search. They are looking minimum of 3 to 8 and 5 to 10. So 5 to 10, 10 to, yeah, 5 to 10, 7 to 12. So like that they are expecting. So minimum their expectation is 3. You can go through different jobs and check how much experience they are expecting. Still, we have a openings for freshers on Snowflake. Minimum industry expecting 3, and we have openings for Snowflake freshers, and many startup companies taking Snowflake freshers. In one of the company I worked earlier, they taken freshers, they given training on Snowflake, and they uh, given vouchers for writing Snowflake certifications. They given projects to those freshers. So lot of companies using Snowflake, and many projects are using Snowflake. You can easily get Snowflake jobs. So these are main important for 5 topics you have to master. Okay. So let me explain one more time. So we are discussing Snowflake architecture. Snowflake architecture. Let's diagrammatically discuss in Snowflake architecture. So yeah, instead of this one, this is better. So here, first layer is data storage layer. So here we use either S3 or Blob or Google Google Cloud Storage. Google Cloud Storage based on the cloud you selected. So whenever you create a table, what happens to it? It will create a folder in the storage location. Whenever you insert the data, it is going to insert records into this folder, a table. Next one, you are writing select query. This select query is going to submit by query processing. Here, if it is AWS services EC2, if it is Azure, Azure VM service, if it is Google, Google Cloud Engine, Google Cloud Engine. These are responsible to process the data which is presented in database storage layer. Okay. So your query going to optimize by using optimizer. Your query going to check whether you have access or not using authentication and access service. So this layer, cloud service layer. So you are executing these commands using user one, user one. So this user one should have a access of executing queries, accessing different resources of Snowflake too. So it will check access and security. So you can use inbuilt security, which is provided by Snowflake. Okay. Next one, metadata manager. So in database, we may have tables, databases, schemas, tables, views, procedures, etc. Complete metadata information of your Snowflake database it maintains in cloud service layer. Next one, infrastructure manager. So for your query, it is going to create EC2 instance if you select cloud is AWS. So that infrastructure related management is handled by this cloud service layer. Okay. So this is very uh, important different cloud layer in a Snowflake architecture. Snowflake architecture follows three-layered architecture. So order is not important. It may be database storage layer first, query processing layer second, third is cloud service. Our cloud service is first, query processing is next database storage. Order is not important and each layer contain their own purpose. Database storage layer contain complete data information. Query processing layer contain resources which can be process our data. And cloud service layer contain authentication, metadata, optimization techniques, infrastructure management, etc. So these are three important layers in Snowflake architecture. Okay, whatever we here, discussed here, step by step, I documented it. Step by step, I documented here. Okay. Yeah. Let me discuss one more important topic so that you will get a clear understanding too. So let me start here. Yeah. Okay, let's start it. Let's understand. Yeah. Let's start it. In this session, we are going to discuss mastering Snowflake syllabus tree. Whether you may be fresher whether you may be experienced person, whether you may be non-IT, you may be IT. Some people may having cloud knowledge, sorry, some people may having computer knowledge, some people may having SQL knowledge, some people may having programmatic knowledge, some people may having warehouse knowledge, some people may also having cloud knowledge. So this mastering Snowflake we designed to everyone, everyone. So we are going to start from fundamentals of Snowflake. So first we are going to understand Snowflake account creation tip. Snowflake account creation. Okay. First we are going to start Snowflake account creation. And before that, we are going to discuss what is Snowflake, what is Snowflake, and then we are going to understand how Snowflake, how Snowflake cloud architecture looks, or we are going to explain Snowflake cloud architecture, and then we are going to discuss Snowflake architecture. How do we work with Snowflake, and then Snowflake architecture, Snowflake architecture, and then we are going to see how to create free Snowflake account. Okay. And once we create a Snowflake account, we are going to understand we are going to understand Snowflake web UI. Snowflake web UI. And then we are going to set up lab, or we are going to set up database schema, some sample tables, and we are going to insert the data into sample tables. Then, then we are going to understand here after creating account, we are going to understand how to connect, how to connect with Snowflake. What are different ways? What are different ways to connect to Snowflake? Then, then here first approach is Snowflake Web UI, and then we have other approaches Snowflake SQL, and other approaches we can we can uh, different different Snowflake clients. We can create connection, create connection with different Snowflake clients. Okay, so all these things we are going to discuss as part of Snowflake fundamentals. Then we have sample data we set up as part of this eighth topic, right? Then we are going to use this SQL for Snowflake. We are going to practice SQL on Snowflake Web UI. So we are going to get complete hands-on SQL on Snowflake data warehouse environment. And then we are going to discuss AWS Cloud and whatever the services required for Snowflake. We are going to discuss only those services. We are not going to discuss all AWS services. Later, while discussing these advanced concepts, we are going to use this SQL statements. We are going to use this AWS services in this advanced concept setting. So total 16 concepts we are covering. So we start with the different types of tables in Snowflake, then time travel and file save. If any record a table deleted accidentally, how can we restore using time travel and file save techniques? And we are going to see what are internal and external stages, how to create. Then we are going to see practical internal external stages, and we are going to see cloning operation. Then we are going to see zero copying techniques, different Snowflake roles and stored procedures, user-defined functions, and then uh, very important one, Snowflake views. Views in Snowflake. Okay, so we are going to discuss these concepts as part of advanced Snowflake, and we are going to discuss virtual warehouses and pricing. And uh, after completing these advanced concepts, we are going to discuss Snowflake. We are going to discuss different projects with different real-time scenarios. So as part of this project, we are going to discuss multiple scenarios too. Whatever whatever concepts we learned as part of mastering Snowflake, right? We are going to use all those concepts. We are going to implement a different real-time scenarios. Okay, so these are important modules we are covering as part of mastering Snowflake. First module one, fundamentals. Module two, SQL for Snowflake. Module three, AWS for Snowflake. And module four, advanced concepts, advanced Snowflake. Module five, real-time projects. So these are the main five important modules we are discussing as part of Snowflake team. Yeah. I'm giving unmute option to Jay, Akira, Ruchika. Any questions too? If you have any questions, you can unmute and ask me, or you can write in chat box. Yeah. Tomorrow class, I am going to show you. Yeah. Tomorrow class, I am going to show you Snowflake account creation. So first one, Snowflake account creation. Okay. So first practical. Then second one, I'm going to show what are different ways to sign in Snowflake. So we have different approaches to sign in. And then we are going to discuss Snowflake Web UI, overview of Snowflake Web UI. If time available, I'm going to show you fourth important practical is uh, default, let's say database creation, schema creation, and table creation, sample data insertion, sample data insertion, sample queries, sample queries. These practicals we are going to discuss in tomorrow class too. So total we have three demos. Demo 1 is completed. Demo 2 we are discussing. Demo 3 tomorrow. Once these demos are completed, we are continuing regular class from fourth class. Fourth class you have to register with fees too. For fees related, you can discuss with DURGASOFT admin team. For any technical, you can unmute me. You can unmute. You can ask me. So you may be a fresher. You may be not having idea on Snowflake. You joined Snowflake classmates. You may got some information from your friends or colleagues or relatives, right? So that's why you joined in this class. So if you're not asked within these three demos, right, you are going to lose. So try to unmute yourself. Try to ask me. I have a very good exposure in Snowflake world. So if you get any query, I can help you to make understanding. Okay. So you can unmute. You can ask me again. Any questions? If you are unable to unmute, you can type in chat box also. Too. No questions? Okay. So tomorrow we are going to see these practical part today. So we are going to see this complete practical part. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, team. We'll meet tomorrow. Someone. We have openings for freshers, but Naukri you cannot say. But I saw many openings as freshers. Many companies taking. You are correct. In Naukri, you are seeing profiles minimum 3 things. Thank you, team. That's it for today. We'll connect tomorrow. So fourth class onwards, you have to register with PhD. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, team. We'll connect tomorrow.